Let's talk about everything. We wanna hear what you have to say. Come and listen to T.E.A, the real T.E.A. Let's talk about anything. Let's discuss. So take action and evolve. We'll engage you, so tune into us.
Welcome back to the Real T podcast, where we talk about everything and anything and where we want you to think, evolve, and take action. I'm your co-host, B Love.
I'm Sweet Pea.
I'm Nikki.
And this is Keena.
And we're back with episode 9. So for today's topic, I'm going to ask the ladies and I'm going to ask our listeners, how do you know that God has sent you the one? How do you know that you really for sure have met the one that you want to marry and spend the rest of your lives? So I, for instance, haven't been there yet. I ain't found the one yet. And so everybody here, the rest of the ladies on the show are married. So I want them to give me like their advice and their experience on how they met the one and why did they feel the person that they're with is the one. And then we can talk about other people's experience, like what we found online doing some research or any information that kind of gives you some insight on how, you know, people believe they found the one that they're supposed to be with for the rest of their lives. So anybody want to kick it off, starting with their experience first?
I think for me, I think one of the reasons how I knew the person was the one for me is
the person is me. What you talking about? The person.
You know what I mean?
Have a name.
Anyways, like I was saying, guys, is you like who you are when you're around them. They let you be you. They don't tell you what to change about you, or I think you look better with this, or maybe you should wear your. I mean, it's okay, like telling people to try new hairstyles and stuff, but you know, you have those people that literally are trying to change you completely. Like they want you to wear a certain outfit, or they tell you what you can't wear. I said, for me, that's how I knew that my lovely wife, Keena, was the one for me, is because she didn't try to change me. And I think that's always a plus.
I'm gonna have to agree, because a lot of I wouldn't say a lot of, but a few other relationships I had been in, they were always, the women I should say, they were always trying to get me to wear makeup. And I'm not a makeup wearing type of woman. That's just not my thing. It just takes too much time, and I don't have time to deal with it, and it's just a lot, and it gets messy. I don't want to have to deal with all of that. I just want to put my clothes on and look good in what I wear. I don't have to wear makeup. So they will always try and play Barbie with me, make my face up at otherness. And I was like, well, I guess you don't really like me for the natural woman that I am. So whatever. I'm not playing Barbie anymore. But that was definitely a big thing for me, is Sweet Pea accepting me for who I was completely.
So that's one of the aspects, is that person accepting you for who you are, no matter what you looked like, you know, flaws and all. Now, okay, well, before I get into the next question, gosh, well, I can't even think. Sorry, y'all. Oh, Nikki, do you want to start off, answering that first question first? And then I'm going to pose the second question to you, all of you guys.
How I knew he was the one was, at that point in time, I had just got out of a relationship, probably, was it like 2 years ago. And so I wasn't ready to start dating. So I just wanted to be, friends and stuff. And so I told him, I said, I'm not really ready to like date. I just want to, just have fun or whatever. So maybe we just be friends. So he's like, well, whenever you are ready to start dating, whatever, I will be here. So I was like, okay. So, I started hanging around him a lot more. We were friends first. And I think that's always a plus whenever you're friends first.
Yeah.
And I could be myself around him. I could, be silly or whatever. Because I feel like the one before him, will look at me crazy if, because I am a silly person. They would look at me crazy if, if I said something stupid or whatever. He would just like laugh with me.
Right.
So I felt, myself, and I love that. Like I love how I could be silly and we just like, we can make fun of each other and not catch, hard feelings because we know that we're playing. Because some people you be joking with them and they take everything to heart. He wasn't like that. So that's how I knew that, he was the one for me and that, I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. We got really, really close, like really, really fast. And next thing you know, I think, was it like a year later? A year and a half? Well, probably, I would say a year and a half later, we got married.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
And so for question 2, I'll pose to everyone. Now, you know how they say in the beginning, it's good you kind of show your best face. So once you guys got deeper into the relationship and some of the flaws started coming out, did you think, okay, I can handle some of their issues? Like, I know I can marry them because this is something I'm willing to put up with and deal with. How was your spouse's flaws that you could put up with different from your previous relationships that ended and you were just like, no, I'm not marrying this person. I can't deal with it. How was it different between your last relationships?
I think some of the people I've dealt with, not necessarily had relationships with, because sometimes, I was just talking to people. It wasn't necessarily a relationship, but I knew that I didn't want to continue to even go to the next level with them because some of the people I dealt with were just selfish, spoiled by like their parents and stuff. So when they got into a relationship, they automatically thought that, okay, you're not supposed to say no to me. I'm supposed to get everything that I asked for. And then when they didn't get it, oh my God, like all hell broke loose. It was like World War III or something. And so I think that once I actually met my wife, it was kind of different. Like she had some selfishness about her, but it wasn't to like the extreme like it was with them. It was like a little selfish. It wasn't like, oh, if I don't get my way, I'm gonna pout and throw a fit, and it's just gonna go all crazy.
I can pout and throw a fit, but I don't.
No, but them, it was like drastically throwing a fit. It was like, I'm making people stuff to piss you off. I'm making you extremely mad.
Oh yeah, she had
being spiteful.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I was like, yeah.
It was a lot for me to even watch.
So if in your case, Sweet Pea, it was people like a flaw is, okay, when you don't get your way about, I need to watch you to see when you don't get your way because that always happens in life. Exactly. And so in your previous relationships, it was, oh, well, if I don't get my way, I'm going to do this to hurt you, being spiteful and malicious. And then Keena was different. It wasn't that way.
Yeah, she had like selfishness about her, but it was something that you can put up with. It wasn't like to the extreme. Like it wasn't like she was like spoiled by maybe her mom or her dad or whatever, just because, well, her mom, she's the only child. So she's used to it just being about her. But when we got to a relationship, like she showed me like a little selfishness, but something that you could put up with. It wasn't never to the extreme that it was going to be something like she was going to hurt me because I told her no about something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was pouting like, oh my God, why can't I have that? Or why you tell me no? It wasn't like nothing like that. So I knew that I was able to deal with that.
Okay. So who wants to go next? A different flaw from someone not getting their way, like selfishness. Can you think of another flaw, Kina or Nicole, that you seen in your current relationship, the same flaw that you saw in your past relationship, but they were just different, like I guess how the person handled it or something that makes sense?
No, I think he's totally different from my other ones, my other relationships.
So the flaws that you've seen in your spouse that you can put up with, it was never, he didn't have the same flaws that the other people had.
The only flaw I could say is that I feel like most men are like, they just like lie about stupid stuff. Like, but it's like dumb stuff. And I know that he knows that, like, I'm going to find out later that like he lied about it, whatever. It's like, like your kid. You know that they lying. But you're like, whatever, okay. You lie, but I'm going to find out. But it's like little white lies. It's not like major lies. But that's the only thing. But other than that, no, because I felt like a lot of the other guys were like sneaky, bossy. And like you said, like some people like try to change who you are. Like they're like, oh, well, why don't you start wearing these kind of shoes? Because I don't like those kind of shoes. Oh, why don't you wear your hair this way? Because I don't like to wear my hair that way. Why can't you just like my hair for, like when you met me, my hair was like this. Now all of a sudden you want to change my hair?
Mm-hmm.
But like him, he just accepted me. Like I can get like a totally different hairstyle, whatever. He'll be like, you look good, babe. And, he'll compliment me, tell me, that I'm pretty and this and that. Like I felt like also the other guys were kind of like insecure too.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they see like a guy looking at you, they'll catch your attitude.
Right.
But like him, he was just like, well, that's good for me because that's saying that I have good taste.
True.
So
It's a smart way of thinking.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But some guys are very insecure. They're like, really? What's he looking at? And want to fight somebody. That's kind of like embarrassing. But
Right.
But yeah, he's totally different from the other guys, I would say.
I would have to agree. Sweet Pea was definitely different than any of my other relationships. I didn't see the selfishness. I didn't see any signs of alcoholism.
Yeah.
I didn't see like her being manipulative or anything like that. And those were definitely qualities or flaws that I was looking for, because those were definitely my red flags.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know. She was totally different than everybody. Like I knew once she was committed that she was committed and she wasn't trying to play any games or manipulate me into, doing things that I didn't want to do or letting her do stuff that she wanted to do, but I really wasn't comfortable with. Like I didn't see any of that.
Oh, that's good.
So those were definitely good things for me not to see.
And that's good. And so, okay, so in the beginning stages of everyone's relationship before you guys got married, because this is a big topic, this is something that I currently dealing with and have dealt with in the past, is the phone and social media. Now that I'm realizing the mistakes that I have done on my part in relationships, now I'm looking for someone who I'm looking for someone like on their social media, they have the opposite sex. They have a bunch of women as their friends. And so I'm looking like, was that ever like a red flag, checking if you notice someone always has their phone with them and they're just being secretive about it? or they have the opposite sex or the same sex on their social media page all the time. Like, it's just weird. Did you guys find that in your previous relationships a lot and it was a red flag? Or even in your current relationship, was it a problem at first in the beginning? You guys talked through it and realized, hey, I don't like this. This makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, why are you, always on your phone or on social media? Like, can we see each other's phones, or is that an invasion of privacy? I just want to know everyone's thoughts on technology, specifically phones and social media.
Well, I always see it as a red flag if someone's always taking their phone with them wherever they go. If they're in the house and they're going to the kitchen, or they're going to the bathroom, or you're going to bed and you got the pillow, you got your phone underneath the pillow, or, it's always on you at some point where you're making sure that it's not left out of your sight.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're thinking that somebody's going to go in it. That means you have something to hide.
Right.
Like, there's something in this phone that you don't want me to see on purpose or by accident. This is why you always keep the phone near you in your eyesight.
That's it, because aren't you supposed to have a level of trust?
Absolutely.
And if you have a level of trust, then why don't you trust me enough that I won't go snooping around in your phone?
Right.
And honestly, let's say, like, for instance, like sometimes if my phone is in the bedroom on the charger, and I might say to Kina, oh, can I use your phone, or can I see your phone? She's not going to ask me, oh, why?
Mm-hmm.
She knows that, okay, I probably want to go on the web and look at something, or I want to play a game that she has on her phone or whatever. It's not like she has something to hide, like, oh, wait, hold on, let me see my phone for a minute. And she's doing something, like deleting something or whatever. And they're like, okay, here you have, no, her phone is laying right there out in the open where I can just grab it. It's not at her side all the time.
And I don't have passcode on it.
Exactly.
So even in the dating stage, y'all never had issues with phones.
No,
it was always open to me. Okay.
I think in our dating stage, like, I may have found like an old picture of an ex that was inappropriate or whatever, but she just deleted it. It wasn't like a big problem. It wasn't like,
yeah,
oh,
like,
no, I don't want to.
Why I gotta delete it?
Yeah.
I don't want to delete it. Like, okay, I forgot that was in there. I'll delete that right now.
Yeah, because sometimes when you do have like a lot of pictures in your phone, you sometimes forget what's in there. Because it's not like that picture that you're constantly going back and looking at it.
Right.
People are like, oh, shoot, I forgot all about that. And it was just deleted quickly. It wasn't like I'm a lie and pretend like I'm deleting it, but yet it's still in there. So that was never a problem. I think in our beginning stages, I think she felt like a text message.
Yeah, but we
wasn't really like exclusive.
We weren't
was more like
exclusive. We were just dating.
You're right.
And I just wanted everybody to be honest, and I felt it that she wasn't being honest about something. So I had an urge to look and find what I have already knew.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid, huh?
I was snooping.
And so, okay, so she was basically currently talking to somebody in an inappropriate manner.
Right. And she says to me, no. I felt otherwise. So that's when I looked for the evidence.
Okay. And then when you found the evidence, like, what did you do?
I mean, I told her about what I saw. And she was like, and she admitted it. She was like, yeah, okay, I did say that. And we just kind of just moved forward. I'm like, if I ask you something, I'm asking you because I really want to know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want both of us to be honest.
Well, there was one other thing that Kina wasn't honest with that I found out like later on. I remember that she had told me that some person had, gotten her flowers for Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh, no, actually, I don't know. No, you know what? It was before Valentine's Day.
I still don't remember.
She had mentioned this person's name. And I was like, you know how you know all the person's friends and family members and cousins, like that the person normally talked about. So it was like a new name that I'd never heard before. And I was like, huh. Like,
but again, we were not exclusive.
Okay, but we were dating though.
We were dating, but we weren't exclusive.
But you also like tried to lie about it. So,
Okay.
Why you gotta lie, Craig? Why you gotta lie?
So back to what I was saying, right? So I was saying, I was like, that's weird because she never. So I was like, oh, who's this person? And she was like, oh, that person's a friend. I was like, well, I never heard this name before, so that was a little weird that you would just out of nowhere just pop up this name out in the blue, like I'm supposed to know who this person. You know, how somebody talks about somebody, and you're like in a regular way, a regular conversation, you're like, okay, well, you're saying it like I know this person, like who is that? And she was like, oh, it's just a friend. And I was like, well, that's weird. You never mentioned this person to be friend. I know all your friends, and I know it's not a family member. And they were kind of like going out on these little dates and stuff. And I was like, well, that's weird because you just said that person's a friend, but you guys are going on dates and stuff to like concerts and whatever else y'all was going to. I thought it was weird. So I thought since we were being honest, you could have said, you know, I'm dating other people just so I know. But that wasn't the case. So I thought that was a little sneaky in the beginning.
But we got over that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically in the beginning, your cell phone, all of that was fair game. It was open. There was no trying to hide it and all that other mess.
Right.
And stuff. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, Nikki. So what did you think, like, in the beginning, as far as technology is concerned?
All right. With my ex, you know, when you're in love, you're blinded by like a lot of stuff. And I was really blind. And I remember him having a lot of female friends on Facebook. And he was very friendly, like very friendly. And, you know, I didn't think anything of it because, you know, before me, you know, he had all those people. So, like, who am I just be like, oh, delete all those people? So I'll ask him, oh, who's that? Or who's that? He'll be like, oh, you know, a friend from high school or my cousin or whatever. So I didn't think anything of it. But even in his phone, his contacts were just like a lot of girls. Why do you have all those females in your phone and you even would talk to them like that? Are you just like collecting names in your phone? So, you know, if I would ask to see his phone, he wouldn't give it to me. He'd be like, why you need to see my phone? Like he took his phone everywhere too. He had at that point in time, I think I had an Android. Yeah, I did have Android. And I have a password on my phone, so you could just go through my phone. I had nothing to hide. I don't care. So I couldn't figure out why I could never see inside his phone. Like, why was everything such a secret? But when I had got with my husband now, all the female friends that he had before he met me, he just like, oh yeah, I deleted all these people on my Instagram. He didn't have Facebook, but he's like, yeah, I deleted all the people off my Instagram because he goes, what I need to talk to them for? I'm not talking to them. And then he would just let me see his phone. And now we have the same password to our phone. So we can just go into each other's phones any time. You know, I can be like, oh, babe, let me see your phone. He won't be like, why? He'll just give it to me. And same thing with me. Like, he'll just be like, oh, let me see your phone real quick. Or like, he'll be like, oh yeah, your mom called. You know, if he looked at my phone's ringing. You know how some people like the phone rings and they just take the...
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Nikki? Nikki? Everyone there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We here.
Is Nikki there?
I don't know. She just cut out.
It says she is.
Oh, man. Sorry, listeners. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties.
Right. But yeah, well, I'll take over. So, like Keena, like she has exes or whatever that she sometimes talks to every once in a then, but it's not, I know that it's not a problem. It's not like, oh, why is that person calling you? Or why are they telling you that they're in town? And why do you have to see them? It's nothing like that, because I know that I trust her and there's nothing going on. And that person is not a threat.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much whatever.
Yeah, like our main thing is we really trust each other.
Right.
So, we don't have to check up on each other. We're like, okay, well, let me go through her phone today. Let me see what I find.
Right.
It's like none of that going through our minds to even say that. And that's a big part of a relationship, is having trust with one another.
Right.
Because if I have to constantly ask you where you going, who you with, who you talking to, that's just too much work.
Right.
I shouldn't have to keep tabs on you like that.
Exactly.
If I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And once the trust is gone, for me, it's gone.
And it's hard to get it back once it's gone anyway, because it's like, you don't want to continue a relationship where you feel like the need that every time that person's phone rings or they get up and leave with the phone in their hand, that you don't want to have to think like, oh, something must be going on again. You don't want to have to be like, every time they're on the phone with somebody, oh, who's that? That's just too much. It's too much energy that you have to give towards that. It's just like, either you're going to trust that person if you feel like the trust is gone, either you're going to work to try to get it back. But if you work to try to get it back and it's still not there, then you guys just have to both move on.
Right.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I agree with that and learning that. Do we want to buzz her in or anything?
Yeah, sorry guys. Let me see if I can get Nikki back. Having a little technical difficulties. Please excuse us. For 1 second. Oops.
Okay, so Nicole, Nikki.
Yeah. My child decided to knock off the Wi-Fi plug.
Okay.
Sorry, listener, she's back.
I'm back. Sorry. Little technical difficulties here. A toddler.
So did you want to finish up what you were saying? 'Cause I know you got cut off.
Yeah, now I totally forgot what I was saying. But yeah, things were just different with my husband. There was no secrets, no nothing. And then my ex would also be like, well, I feel like, people should have their privacy. What do you need so much privacy in your phone? Like, what the heck do you have in your phone that you need so much privacy for?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And why is it that it's something that I can't see?
Because honestly, if you need that much privacy, it's something that you're doing that's going on that you don't want me to see or you want me to know about. Because there's not that much privacy. Especially, it's like, okay, so what if he was married? You're going to tell your wife that you need your privacy as far as your phone? Like, no.
You can't do something in front of your significant other,
right?
Then that's a red flag right there. Because you have to do it behind her back or his back. That means you're doing something you have no business doing, and it's wrong.
Right. Exactly.
I agree. Okay, so once your relationships started developing and time has passed and you may have gotten over some issues, when was, I mean, you may not remember the day or year, but let's say, just tell me how many years in a relationship or months. When did you know? Well, okay, first, before I pose that, did you pray to God and ask, God, is this it for me? And if not, show me if it is and show me if it's not. And if he showed you something, how did you know it was him for sure and be like, okay, just go with it? Like, this is it. Like, when did you know for sure during the relationship, I guess after how many years or months, that I'm going to go with it, that this person is it?
Well, for me and Keena, we were living together before we were married. So we pretty much just I was just one day just thinking to myself, I'm like, well, you know, we live together because once you live with somebody, you're like,
That's
okay, I
when
can.
you really learn everything.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, I really can put up with all of this. Like, you have your little things that you're like, oh my god, why didn't you put that back, or why is this here? But it's like little things, so you could put up with it. It's not to
Right.
like the extreme where you're like, oh my god, I can't. This person's just so nasty and dirty. I can't even take this. So I knew once we started living together that I was like, you know what, I could do this.
Yeah, once that first year was over with
Right.
us initially living together, that's when I said to myself, okay, this could work because we don't have any major issues and we're able to coexist in this one house together.
Right. And so we just basically one day was like, why don't we get married? And literally that's how it went.
That's
There wasn't
exactly how
like
that
no proposal or no big extravaganza going on. We just pretty much was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, we had like a Carrie and Mr. Big type situation. You want to get married? Sure, I wouldn't mind getting married to you.
Right.
I mean, we were just two people making a decision because we were not the type of people to just get into a relationship and it not go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We were two people who get into relationships for it to ultimately end up in marriage.
Yeah.
So we both had that in common. We weren't just dating to date.
Now, how many years had passed once y'all made that decision?
Year 3.
I don't know why it sounded longer than that. Really?
I mean, it was because we were on and on again, off again for like 4 years.
Right.
But then we decided to become serious and exclusive and move in together. That whole period before we got married was 3 years.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now we've known each other for like
10 years.
And
Dang, long time go by fast.
11 this month?
We met in March
of 2019. I mean, of 2009.
Yeah, 10 years.
Oh yeah, you're right.
10 years.
Dang, time go by fast. Oh, okay. And so, okay. Well, I'm glad you mentioned something. Then we'll get into Nikki. You said y'all were on and off for a few years. During the off stages, and y'all don't have to go into detail or anything. Did you still believe that okay. Was there ever a time during the off stages you were like, this is it, I'm done, I can't keep doing this with this person? Or did you still feel like maybe somehow we can work this out? Like, I know I can be with them even though we're not together right now.
I thought that.
What?
That you were completely done?
No, I could still be with her.
Oh,
I thought that.
I was the opposite. I was like,
she was fighting.
Really?
She was fighting it.
Yeah, because I even said it to her. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not chasing you anymore. Like, I'm gonna do my own thing. Because like in between our breakups, like there were other people. I've been on a bunch of dates. I mean, they never actually went anywhere because the women and guys that I was dating just didn't have it together. It was like, or it was just too much. Like the one person I was dating, I actually met her through a mutual friend. Well, I shouldn't say. The mutual friend had a friend that introduced me to her. And it was a lot because like I don't really like when people are like extra aggressive. So it kind of was like a turn off when people are like forcing themselves on you, kind of. So, and then it was just like, her mom passed away and then she ended up moving back home because her father is actually blind. So it was just a lot to deal with. So I don't think I was really ready for all of that. And so I kind of was like, in between dating other people. But then that just didn't work out. And somehow me and Keena ended up getting back together for Lord knows what, the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth time. I don't know. We lost track after that. But at one point I did say to her, I remember we were in my room and I think we were watching Love and Hip Hop.
Out of all the shows.
Yes, out of all the shows.
It was Love and Hip Hop, and I forget what couple it was, but there was a couple on there, and she was saying something like she's not about to chase him no more. I was like, you know what? Yeah. That's how I feel. I feel you. So I was like, you know what? I'm about to say it to her right now. I was like, Keena, I'm not chasing you no more. I'm done. And then she kind of was like, well, Keena has it where back then she would kind of like shut down. So if you would say something to her, she wouldn't actually respond. She would just like kind of look at you like this dumb look. And so she was kind of looking at me like, and her eyes kind of got teary. And she was just like, okay, I think you said okay or something like that.
Because that was my favorite word. Okay.
And I was like, oh. I was like, oh, okay, so she don't care. Okay, cool. And that's pretty much how that went about.
Because at that point, when she said that, I felt like she meant it. So I was like, I think I might want to.
And I said to her, we can be friends.
Of course, the old friends trick. We could be friends. Like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to just be your friend. So, okay, I'll stop dating other people and get serious.
And actually, I think she did say something. I think she said, well, I have some things I need to handle first. She said something like that, which I think she was talking about her baggage.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Because at that time, I think you were in between two people or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, that's an interesting story. And then we'll talk about me, listeners. I know y'all tired of me getting all in their business. I ain't giving y'all all the business, but I'm gonna tell y'all a little something. But anyway, so Nikki, so when did you realize for sure, like, this was it for the rest of my life? I'm gonna be with this person.
Okay. After the last relationship, I was talking to God and I said, God, the next man I make my boyfriend is going to end up being my husband. Because, I was at an age where, I wanted to get married and I wanted to have kids, And so I was like, that's it. I'm done. I was like, oh, yeah. And I'm going to make some changes, too, because the last boyfriend, I moved in with him, whatever. Plus, he had a kid. So I said, I'm not moving in with anybody until I'm married. And also, I really want a guy that has no kids. So, I ended up meeting my husband, which, by the way, I did not even think, like, at that point in time, like, oh, like, how, like, you see, like, how you say it's like love at first sight. It wasn't even like that. It was just like, oh, he's a cool guy, whatever. He's nice to talk to. He was, hilarious. He always made me laugh. And we would always just make plans together. Like, oh, you ever want to try this? Oh, yeah, I want to try this. Oh, maybe we can do it together. Really? Yes, really. And, we just start, like, I guess basically just building like a whole life, but like in friendship. I wasn't even thinking about like dating him. I didn't even know that he liked me. And so he always says, Dag, babe, you were so blind. And I really was, because I did not think that we were going to be heading for that. And it happened so fast too. And so, I don't know, God was just telling me certain things like, don't worry, things are going to be really good with him. So I was like, okay, whatever. So he's also younger than me. He's actually 7 years younger than me too. And the last one was like 10 and a half years older than me. So I'm like, I don't know, he's too young. And my friend was like, so? And I was like, okay, I'll try this out, see where it goes. And within about a year, we're going to get married. Everything happened so fast. Like in a blink of an eye.
So, like, when did you know for sure? Like, after how many months that you were all in? Like, I'm not going to be with no one else for the rest of my life.
Probably within, I would say, probably like our first or second month of dating.
Oh, so yours was really fast.
It was really fast. Like, I just knew that, like, I wanted to be with him all the time. You know, I mean, like, people say that, like, when they first start dating someone, that they just want to be with that person all the time, whatever. But this one was just, like, different. It was different than my last relationships. He was very supportive, very understanding. And I don't know, I just felt like God was talking to me the whole entire time throughout that whole relationship. Because, you know, sometimes you like doubt certain things because of what you've been through.
Mm-hmm.
And no, God was definitely speaking to me and saying, no, don't worry. It's not like that. It's going to get better. And I don't know, like, I just wanted to be around him all the time. And also, we were in that honeymoon phase. Like, we didn't like argue. We didn't really start arguing until like probably like after we got married.
That's good.
But it wouldn't be like huge arguments. Even like nowadays, like we still don't argue like that. We'll have like little disagreements here and there, but we'll get mad at each other, but we'll like talk through them. It won't be just like, I'm not talking to him, that's it. It was just different. It was more mature, even though, you know, like I had older guys, he's younger. He's much more mature than all the other guys I've ever been with.
That's good.
Which is saying something. So, you know, I just knew that God was talking to me the whole entire time throughout this whole relationship, because certain times, you know, you will doubt certain things because of what you've been through. But I just knew that he was it. And that was who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, and who I could see myself having, you know, kids with, and building a future, you know?
Okay.
That was my story.
So you guys gave me great advice. So all the listeners out there, y'all know I'm the one that is single, not married or anything, and I don't have children yet. So okay, I guess you guys can ask me questions, because I had not had the best relationships. And that's why I was asking them these questions, because these are things that I'm looking for in my one day spouse, you know, whoever he is out there, and whenever God is going to send him. And, you know, sometimes I know I have my issues and things that I have to work on, but I guess I'm learning now some things I'm not willing to put up with anymore, and that I just have to wait. So do you guys want to ask me any questions about maybe why you think, I don't know, he hasn't come yet? Or like, what are some things about myself that I should be doing to look for in my future spouse, like God sent spouse?
For one, I think someone that respects your decisions. Like, if you meet someone and you say, you know, I don't want to have sex, I want to wait till marriage. To me, respecting your decision is, because you know how people say they respect your decisions, but I feel like if a guy is doing things to get you to go back on your word, I don't feel like that's respecting your decisions. I feel like if a guy, you know, we all know men are men. We understand that, you know, they want to have sex. That's all well and good. But my thing about it is, if you respect this person so much and you really like this person and you really can possibly maybe see this going somewhere, you would say to this person, okay, we went out, it's getting kind of late. Let me take you home. There's no, oh, let's talk in the car for a while, because we know what that leads up to too. There's no, oh, can I come inside? Oh, do you want to come to my house? None of that. You're going to say, good night, maybe give you a little kiss or whatever, but they're going to be respectful. There's no, to me, I kind of think you're overstepping it when you're having a makeout session on a first date. I think that's taking it too far. Like, I don't know you like that. This is our first date. Even though we talk on the phone, that doesn't mean that you know me or I know you, because we talked for several days or we talked for a couple of weeks. So I think that a guy definitely has to show you that he respects you fully. You tell him something, he's going to say, okay, I can respect that. He's going to show you that he respects that, right. Not just saying it. Your actions show that you respect what I just said. Right. I think that's one of them.
It's all about action.
Right.
Absolutely. Because they can tell you what you want to hear all day long, but their actions are always going to give them away.
True.
And if you're listening closely in their conversation, they're telling you what their intentions are.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if you say no sex, don't bring up sex, because you know that I don't want to have it. Stop trying to change my mind.
Right.
And first of all, you should like, a guy shouldn't be telling you like what he's done with other women. I think that's first of all inappropriate. First of all, I don't understand why you're even actually telling me your past sexual experiences with other people, as if you're telling me these things so that I could say, oh dang, I really want to try that with you, or it's like that's what you're trying to get me to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like once you start talking about sex, that's going to feed into temptation. And that's the reason why, that's one thing you talking about it in like a respectful way, like not talking about what you want to do to that person or what you have done to somebody else sexually. But if you say, maybe you talked about, even though they do say that you should actually say how many sexual partners you had, but you could talk about light stuff. I feel like you actually telling me physically what you do to people, that's diving all the way in. And now you're going to want to know, dang, how that feels. And I think that's just too much.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else that I should look out for or like do differently this time around?
I feel like you should definitely keep your options open. I feel like you should definitely go out there and date, because there's so many guys out there.
Yes.
So many guys out there. And I feel like once you put your heart and soul into this one dude, you're missing all the other opportunities that you have out there.
Right.
Like there could be a guy right in front of your face and you're going to ignore him because you're into this one dude.
Right.
Just like be a serial dater. Cause that's the fun part of dating. Cause that's what I did before I met my husband. I was like, I'm going to, keep my options open. And that's why I told him, I'm talking to other dudes. I just want to let you know I'm not ready for a relationship. I just want to have fun. And that's it. And he was like, well, I'll be here waiting. That's also a sign too. If a guy's like chasing you, because I feel like guys are more like hunters. They like to like chase their women. And if you just give it up to them easy, you're not like really giving them an opportunity to chase you.
Right.
So keep an eye on. I think you should do that. I think you should just date, have fun, not think about, oh, is this gonna be my husband? Or is that gonna be my husband? Or, oh my God, I'm getting older now and have kids. Because I feel like when you do that, and you're just wondering the whole entire time, am I going to die alone?
Right.
I think you should just let things come to you. And before you know it, your husband-to-be will be right in front of your face, just like that. Believe me when I tell you. Watch when it happens. You're going to be like, Nikki, you was right. I'm like, I know.
And also mean what you say. If you're telling somebody what you want, what you're looking for, don't backtrack on that, because now it's looking like, oh, I knew she wasn't going to keep her word. I knew she was going to do this and she was going to do that. Like, if you're going to say something to somebody, mean it and actually do it by action. Yes. Don't go back on your word.
Yeah.
Because you should be able to at least keep, promises to yourself or promises that you made to God, and not, be weak and feed into it. Because everybody, especially when it comes to sex, everybody, wants to have sex. Sex is great, but it's not everything, to the fact that it's going to make me put aside my beliefs and I'm going to go ahead and do what I said I wasn't going to do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, yeah, because also when I had said that I didn't want to live with anybody until I was married, and I had said that to my husband before we were married, I said, yeah, I don't want to live with anyone until I'm married. And he said, really? But, but like, what if we're engaged? Engagements are meant to be, they can be broken. They can be broken. So you could just call off the wedding. So, and I'm here living with you. That's like a whole bunch of crap I got to do now.
Right.
So, yeah, you have to stick to your guns. And I did. And I was like, I'm not living with anyone until I am married. And that's it. And that's exactly what happened.
Right.
You got to mean what you say and do it. Stick to your guns, girl. Stick to your guns. Because guys try to play with your mind and manipulate you into changing your mind.
Yeah, and then they think, okay, well, all I got to do is say, all I got to do is say this, and she'll change her mind, or, I ain't really paying attention to what she's saying, because it's going to be whatever I want, because I'm going to get her to change her mind.
Yeah, because they're going to start thinking you're all talk if you keep backtracking.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They're going to think that, oh, she, how many times she said that? And look what happened. Like, they be laughing at women when they be doing that crap.
Right.
Yeah.
They be talking to their friends, and, they'll be like, yeah, she had her say this and that, but last week she let me do this, and this, and after she said she wasn't going to let me do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And I realized the mistakes I did on my part. So, like, and just in all y'all's opinions, to give me some type of hope, do y'all really think that if you have a desire for marriage and family and kids, that God will supply that to you? It's just in his own timing, or you can still have that desire, but maybe that's not his will for your life and it won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, everything is on his timing. We can plan all day, every day.
Yep.
Nothing's going to happen until he wants it to happen for you.
And what is meant for you is meant for you.
For it to happen for you.
Right.
Right.
So y'all think I got a chance?
Of course. He knows what's in your heart, and he knows that he has somebody there for you. There's somebody there for you. You just have to be patient and stop rushing him.
Yeah.
On his time, not yours.
Right. I said, I feel like there's someone out there for everyone. I said, now, not everybody wants to get married. So if that's the case, then, that's what you want. That's not, if you don't want marriage, that's not what you want. That's fine. But I feel like the ones that don't want to be by themselves, there's someone out there for everyone. There's so many people in the world that you will share interests with. You guys will be on the same page as far as what road you guys want to go down. You guys will have common interests, all of that. So I feel like you just have to be patient and change your habits, because if you keep doing the same old thing, then it's like once you start doing that, it's like, who's to blame? It has to be you, because you keep doing the same thing that you said you wasn't going to do with the next guy, and the cycle just keeps going on and on and on. So you have to be willing to change it in order to see different results.
Right.
Also, I believe that let's say if you have certain bad habits, I would definitely work on myself before I get into any relationship, because you want to be a great partner for your future spouse.
Right.
And I remember after the bad breakup that I went through before my husband, I knew that there were certain things that I had to change about myself. Not because this guy said I should change, but because I knew that I had to change certain things. So I definitely did that. And I definitely worked on myself before I started like being serious with my husband, because I want to be a great spouse. I want to be a great partner, So that you also should think about too.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you have selfish ways, work on that. If you have a hard time listening to other people, what they're saying, and it's not like getting through, you need to work on listening. Because there's certain people out there that do not listen for nothing.
Exactly.
Everything's always about them and their needs.
Mm-hmm.
If you have anger issues, work on that.
Right.
Communication issues, work on that. That's nothing about.
Yeah, I agree. So in the
also work on that. Sorry, that came to mind because when we were cheating, if we've been cheated on, it's really hard to trust the next person because you're like thinking, yeah, he's up to something too. Because all guys are like that. When really all guys are really not like that. There's a lot of guys that aren't like that. And if you have trust issues, you work on that.
Yeah, that's definitely my number one thing is that trust.
Yep, I had that too. But you gotta work on yourself before you can actually be with someone. Because then you bring all that baggage into your next relationship. It's not fair to your partner.
No, I understand. I guess for me, it's just like annoying and hard for me because I feel like I'm in the same boat I was at 25. I wanted to be married at 25 and be a young mom and stuff. And it's like, what is it? 7 years later, it's like the same thing.
That's so making the same mistakes.
Well, yeah, I was just getting ready to say that. But also too, it's not only that, I don't know when his timing is. I just never thought I'd be in this situation. And I was single for a long time for the last two relationships where it had been like years.
But have you ever thought about this, Brittany? Have you ever thought that maybe God hasn't given you the person you want yet because he doesn't think you're ready yet?
That could possibly be true.
I mean, he has a reason for why he does the things he does.
Right.
Yeah, that could be it too. Honestly to the point, I don't want to talk to no one. I don't want to do anything. I'm working on myself, getting my things together. I don't even want to be bothered. I feel like I'm just drained and I'm tired.
I get it. This is the perfect time to just, work on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know Brittany.
Get to love yourself.
Yes, because until you completely love yourself, you can never be in a true and loving relationship.
Right.
Yeah, like I love myself. I think it's just like secure, like things like the whole trust thing and then being suspicious, like the enemy will like combat me, like my mind against things like everybody's doing something or out to get me and stuff. And I know that's not true. That doesn't come from God.
Right.
Things like that. And knowing that I'm not going to put up with this just because I want this to work so bad because I don't want to be alone type thing.
Right.
I don't want to be like that and stuff or feel weak because I don't want to be by myself.
Yeah, so this time just definitely work on, trust issues and stuff because, it's never right to bring that into a new relationship because it's not fair to that new person. So you definitely want to make sure, you got rid of all your baggage before coming into a new, fresh relationship.
Yeah. And also, too, once I see the evidence is there to just let it go. Like, there's no more keep asking God. He keeps showing you the same thing. It just has to be a time where he's saying no to this. This is what this person is going to bring in your life if you keep dealing with it. and you just have to make the decision for yourself.
Right.
Oh. So did you want to read what you found online really quick about what other people are saying about different signs that you've met the person or the one?
No, it's just about, how can you tell if the person is right for you? How do you know that they're the one? So they just have 11 signs that your partner is a match for the long haul.
Oh, what's the website according to?
It is on www.busto.com.
Okay.
So you would have to type in how can you tell if someone is the one. 11 signs your partner is a match. And so they just have 11 signs. So we'll just read the 11 signs. So number 1 is you like the person you are when your partner is near, which is always important because the person that you're with should always accept you for who you are. And you like the person that you are when you're with them. Like if you feel like you're with someone and they're draining you, or you don't feel like yourself, or you feel like they're trying to change you, then that's your time to enter the exit door. Number 2 is you can live with the 3 things about your partner that bothers you the most. Now, everybody has bad habits, of course. So if you feel like those things that you can actually deal with, that's another plus that person is the one for you. So it says, pay attention to the immediate feelings you have when you think of the person. Those feelings will lead you to the answer to this question. Number 3 is you're at peace with who they are. So if you accept them for the person that they are, and you're not trying to change them, and you love the person that they are with flaws and all, then that's another step in the right direction. Number 4 is they'll be there no matter what. So if you're going through ups and downs, they're not trying to find an easy way out. They're going to stick it in for the long haul. Like the minute y'all get into an argument, they're out. Then you need to cut them off anyway, because that's something minor. Anybody can have an argument.
Right.
But, if you're having, issues within your family, or maybe your family doesn't approve of this person, but you really love this person and this person is willing to stay with you, but they're probably be like, oh, your parents don't like me, I'm out. Then they shouldn't have been around in the first place. Number 5 is you can talk about anything. If you can talk about serious topics and that person can actually have an adult conversation with you and not just sit there and look at you dumbfounded, or they try to change the subject, or they're looking at you with this stupid smile on their face. It should be 2 people, adult people should be able to have a conversation.
Right.
Without the other person getting all defensive, or the other person not even interacting with you. It's like, what am I talking for?
Right.
Let me see. Number 6 is easy. Now, we know everything's not easy, but if it's easy to that person where I guess they mean, you can think differently than they do, and they accept that. You guys can work together and figure out your issues and your plans for the future. Things are calm and pleasant between you two. Then that person is the one. Number 7 is this feels different from everything that has come before. So if you feel like if you were dating, let's say, thugs or people in and out of jail, or someone who's a cheater, or someone who has really bad communication skills, and you feel like this person is totally the opposite, and you feel like this is the first person that you ever dated that's different than all the past guys or women, then you're on the right track. Number 8 is they're willing to put in the work. Everybody knows relationships is not easy. You have your ups and downs, but if they're willing to fight for you and see past, work through the differences, then this person really loves you, really cares about you, wants to be with you because they're willing to try to make things work. Whether that is just talking and finding, common ground, or, seeking professional help. Number 9 is you have the same core values. So if you can meet someone instantly and know immediately they are the one, or you may not know until your 10th date, it says love is complicated and there is no right or wrong way to meet your soulmate. But when you know, you know. And sometimes you do know. Like if you hit it off with somebody immediately, you guys share not necessarily the same dream, but your dream and their dream will kind of like intertwine. Like, if this say, sometimes you have those people that you say to yourself, one day I want to move to like California. And that person's not willing to go with you because maybe they're saying, well, I ain't moving to no California. I want to live in Mexico or Wyoming or something. Then, if your dreams can't, what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Coincide with the other person.
Coincide with the other person, then that person might not be the one for you. So I feel like there's, I guess there's like a happily ever after, not to the form like everything's going to be A1 perfect, but you guys can be together without all these extra complications and stuff that come with it sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, I believe that God has purpose in your life, and I believe he'll align both of yours two purposes together. Like, it won't be so opposite and different. Like, let's say a person has a desire to pastor a church and his wife is like, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be a wife of a man who pastors church and traveling all the time. I feel like it could happen, but I feel like a lot of times he does align your purposes and your destinies together for his purpose overall.
Right. That's true. Number 10 is you've been dating for long enough to know one way or another, which is true. So if you've been dating someone for a year or more, and you usually discuss your future together and everything seems compatible and happy and you love this person, they're the one. And the last one is you have common ideals and you feel safe. Like, remember, it's very important to feel safe with someone. It's like if you feel like somebody's going to put you in harm's way, that's not the person that you should be with. You should be with someone that you feel safe with. And that you trust them 100% and nothing's going to happen.
Right.
I feel like that person's the one. And that's it. Off the list.
Okay. So does anybody have any final thoughts before we close out?
No.
So all I can say is that, it's not easy finding the one. But when you do, because you do have the ones that would screw it up, don't screw it up because sometimes it's hard to come by the next person that is the right one. So I just feel like, put in the work, they put in the work. You guys want to make it work, then go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been in a bad relationship, take time to work on yourself, get yourself together before you head to the next relationship.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen who are listening out there. So that does it for another episode of The Real T. And you guys can hit us up at therealtpodcast@gmail.com for any questions, topics of discussions you want us to talk about in the coming episodes, or for any business inquiries, you can email us at that email address. Also, subscribe, and comment on our new YouTube page. It's called The Real T Podcast. Look us up. Definitely subscribe. And also follow us on Instagram. It's just at The Real T Podcast. And on Facebook, you just type in The Real T. And we are going to end our show. And again, my name is B Love.
And I'm Sweet Pea.
I'm Nikki.
And Mrs. Kina.
And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.